Hi. Today on Short Exposure, we're going to break one of the rules of photography. You know, we spend a lot of time trying to keep our cameras still when we take pictures, whether we use a tripod or we're using some sort of image stabilization. But today, we're going to move the camera in two different ways to create special effects. So today on Visual Art Photography Tutorials, we're going to move the camera two different ways to create two different effects. But before we get started, I'd just like to say a big thank you to all of you who subscribe to the channel. And if you haven't subscribed yet, hey, we'd love to have you aboard. Okay, so the first movement today, you take your camera and you move it up and down. Now the key here is to use a shutter speed of maybe a 1/15 of a second or longer to achieve a blurred effect. So you set your shutter speed, and if you can't get that shutter speed where you want it, use a small aperture, say f/16, f/22, or maybe use a neutral density filter or a polarizer on your lens. And that should get your shutter speed down to where you need it to be. Up and down when you shoot. And it should look something like this. All right, this first image was taken at a 1/10 of a second with a smooth motion on the camera. This one here was taken at 1 second with a little bit of a herky-jerky motion. And it kind of forms this, it almost looks like a waterfall in the forest. This picture was taken at 1.3 seconds and it's quite blurred. Okay, so the second motion we're going to use today is a circular motion. Now, when you see the picture, it's going to look like I've moved the camera like, 360 degrees or something like that, but you don't need to do that. Now I shot a picture at, let's say, a second or 1.5 seconds, and you do this when you're shooting it, like this, just like that. Just 90-degree turn. And that'll give you this effect. Okay, this set of pictures almost looks like something out of Alice in Wonderland. This first shot taken at 1 second. And this second one, very wild, at 2 seconds. And then we look up into the forest canopy, and we've taken this picture at a 1/5 of a second, and then the effect is a little more pronounced with this shot at a 1/2 a second. Now you can combine these images with something else to make something completely different as well. Take this picture and combine it with this image to form something like this. The possibilities are endless. Get out there and try those two techniques and see what happens to your photography. It could end up being rather artistic, certainly creative. And don't be afraid to experiment. Use all kinds of different shutter speeds and all kinds of different motions and long motions, short motions, all kinds of things. I've always said it, we're only limited by our imaginations. So don't be afraid to experiment. That's what it's all about. Until next time, I'm Ray Scott. Remember, it's not what you see, it's how you see it. And I'll see you soon.